Shalom, brothers and sisters, and we are back with part two. We're back with part two, and what is the conscience? What is consciousness? This is part two. We are back on the behalf of, you already know, Solid Foundation Israelite Academy. I'm your host, Shabar Israel, that's bringing forth this lesson on today, and we're talking about what is consciousness? What is the consciousness of the human being? And we're gonna go ahead and get into it. This is part two, so let's get into it. So, what is the consciousness of the human being? Well, brothers and sisters. So, what is consciousness? Basically, I hope you can grasp what I'm about to say here, because this is about to get super duper deep. And I don't mean to frighten you, brothers and sisters. I don't mean to frighten my friends. I don't mean to, pull the spookism on you. But a body is what you occupy. And when I say you, I'm talking about consciousness. A body is what simply the consciousness occupies, to experience the physical. So you're not really a human being. You are consciousness in the form of a human being, if that make any sense. So I don't want to spook you out, but I need to go into a little quantum physics concerning this lesson, and I hope you can just maintain, and I hope you can ride with me. So that's a heavy topic, man, for anyone to try to explain what is consciousness, because it has different degrees, it has different levels. So I'm not going to try to go too high. I'm going to try to keep it in the middle, so you guys, my friends, that you can understand what simply is going on when it comes down to the conscious state. So a spirit needs a body to experience the physical. We already know that. So what they call the spirit, is truly just pure consciousness. All right? If that make any sense to you. Because the consciousness is what you really are. You are pure consciousness in the form of a body. And the body cannot operate without first getting consent of the conscious. All right? So the spirit, which is consciousness, is in the brain. Okay? Which is in the brain, and it's nothing but consciousness. And consciousness is like your ideas. You are formulated basically by your ideas. Your consciousness is where your ideas stems from, like your thoughts, your notions, concepts, your viewpoints, your view plans, your theories, insight, understanding, inspiration. That all stems from your consciousness, because the body cannot operate without first getting consent from the conscious state. All right? But many have been led to believe that they are the vehicle. Now, what do I mean by that? What do I mean by that? See, this is about to get super duper deep. Why? Because we are like ghosts in this machine, which is this meat bag. All right? And the body is not the spirit. Okay? The body is not the spirit. The spirit is not the body. The spirit is operating in the body. Sort of like a navigator, a driver that's operating inside of a car. Operating the car. Controlling and manipulating the car. So the spirit is the battery that gets the brain functioning or operating. Just like the navigator or the driver is the entity that gets the vehicle operating. So this brain, the human brain, this brain operates this bag of bones. Just like this driver here operates this vehicle that is likening to the body. Okay, so if the brain operates this bag of bones or this meat bag or this physical, right, which the spirit sojourns, because the spirit sojourns in the brain. And if the spirit sojourns in the brain, we know that the brain operates this physical, this bag of bones, sort of like similar to a driver that's operating a vehicle, right? Well, a person, which is, or the driver, which is likening to the spirit, you know, is operating the body, which is likening to the vehicle. So we know that a person can't run like 100 miles per hour. We know that a human being cannot run 100 miles per hour. But they can physically make the car run 100 miles per hour. See, the driver himself cannot run 100 miles per hour, but he can physically make the car run 100 miles per hour. You get what I'm saying? So the spirit has nothing to do with the body. All right? But the spirit lodges in the human brain, because that's where it sojourns, to empower the human brain to operate the body. So the spirit lodges in the human brain, and it is the energy and the consciousness that occupies the brain. So where does the brain get this energy? Where does the brain get this conscious energy from? The spirit, which is consciousness. See that? So you might not can't run 100 miles per hour, but you can easily jump into a vehicle and you can accelerate to 100 miles per hour. Okay? Just like the spirit. The spirit in itself, you know, it needs some type of machinery to operate, and that's the body. Just like the driver needs the vehicle. Well, the vehicle needs the driver, if that make any sense to you. So the brain manipulates the body, and this comes from consciousness, stimulating the brain in order to electrify the brain, in order for the brain to govern the body. And there's a lot I have to go over because I wrote this down. I studied on this like forever, and I'm trying to get all my lessons out to you, and I want to really break it down. So I have a lot to cover. So the physical brain is like a model of the spiritual. It's not the spiritual, but it's a model of the spiritual. That's the physical brain. And the reason the spirit cannot remember the spiritual world, because we are incarnated, we are reincarnated. Every 4 generations we are reincarnated to get whatever we didn't get in our prior lives, right, or our former lives. And the reason why the spirit cannot remember the spiritual world, because we all are spiritual entities that comes from the universe. We come from the spiritual dimension, which is the 4th dimension. And there's many dimensions that we come from, but the reason why we don't have remembrance of the spiritual world is simply because the brain isn't spiritual. You got to understand, the brain is physical and the brain isn't spiritual. So the brain is the embodiment of the spirit. It's like the lodging area where the spirit resides, or where it dwells and sojourns. So the spirit, let's just say, the spirit remembers the spiritual, but the physical body doesn't, simply because it wasn't there. So the physical body wasn't in the spiritual realm, the 4th dimension, and therefore that's why it doesn't remember the 4th dimension, but the spirit was there. So this is the reason why we seem not to remember the spiritual or the 4th dimensional realm, because simply the body, the brain, wasn't there. If the spirit was capable of remembering the spiritual realm while you was going through this physical experience, if this spirit was capable of remembering the spiritual realm while you was going through his physical experience, then it would stop living the physical experience And then the spirit will leave and go back to the spiritual. But you don't have any remembrance of the spiritual realm. If that makes any sense to you. Okay? We don't have that experience. Well, we have experience, we just don't have remembrance of the spiritual realm. Because we have basically a less condensed state. We are in a less condensed state right now. So the spirit will leave and go back to the spiritual realm if it had remembrance of the spiritual realm while it was going through this physical experience, but it don't. So you cannot be in two places at one time. All right, so you cannot remember the spiritual while going through this physical third dimensional realm, which is truly death, because they say that life is life, but life is truly death. And I'm going to break it down to you. Life is not life. This is not life that we are living, we are experiencing. This is death. Life is truly death. Now, what the hell are you talking about, Shabar? Let me break it down. Life is truly death. Why? Because many call this experience life that we live, but when you only live to die, then you got to question yourself. So when this experience is all over with, the physical declines. We already know that. So when this experience that we call life, which is truly death, when it's all over with, the physical declines. It comes to an expiration date, it declines, meaning that it dies out, and people have no idea that what they label to be life is death. That's why you live to die. But, you know, we have a lot to learn, because life is not life, it's really death. So the moment that you were born, you're truly on the path to what? You're on the path. The moment you were born, you are on the path to death. You're on the path to dying. So this is why we live to die. So what is life? Life is truly death. And so if we live to die, what we call life is truly a paradigm or the prototype of death. So if this life, then why you die? If this truly life, then why the hell you die? That's the ultimate question. Ultimately, if this is truly life, then why you live to die? Because life is short. And after all, death is waiting. So what is life? It's death, if you can reason that. So the spirit comprehends what's eternal. Don't get it misunderstood. The spirit comprehends what's eternal. And the spirit is eternal, which is pure energy, which is pure consciousness. Everything in this universe is all hooked up to some type of energy field in all life forms, because we nothing but vibrating atoms. And I don't say this several times. We just vibrating at different wavelengths. Some are vibrating higher than others. So your intelligence, your creativity, your imagination, that interacts with the energy field, which is pure consciousness, man. So you're nothing but energy that's in the form of a meat bag that's in a body. The body is not truly who you are. So we may appear to be like separate bodies, and we may appear to have separate ideas, but we are all just one big pulsating, vibrating field of consciousness, if that make any sense to you. So we are not human beings having a spiritual experience, but we are spiritual beings that's going through this human experience, and that those spiritual beings that's going through this human experience are different degrees of consciousness. So human beings, you know, that's not who you are. Okay, that's why it says your thoughts and feelings creates energy waves. In Proverbs, it's in Proverbs 23:7. Let's go into that, because I haven't pulled any Bible scriptures, and I know, you know, for me to do a video, you got to include this book of life, which is the Bible. So let's go to Proverbs 23:7. Let's show you this a deep thing. Okay, Proverbs 23:7. Proverbs 23:7, because it's really super duper deep. Proverbs 23:7 says, "For as he thinketh in his heart, so is he." So as he thinketh in his heart, so is he. Eateth and drink, so he so heed to thee, but his heart is not with thee. So what I want to point out here, for as he thinks in his heart, is so is he. Because your life is what your thoughts make it. Basically, you're nothing but thought. That's what the sun really is. If you didn't know what the sun truly is, the sun is the perceptions of the Most High God, man. That's what the sun is. The sun is thought. That's why it's known as illumination. That's why thought is in reference to intelligence and illumination. To enlighten someone, is to brighten someone. That's what the sun is, just thought. Thought of the heavenly entities. You know, so what illuminates a dream? Because when you dream, what illuminates your dream? Thought is what illuminates your dream. So what illuminates this third dimension that we are in, which is really a dream? Life is nothing but a dream. What illuminates this dream? The sun, which is truly thought. And that's the perceptions of the heavenly hosts of the heavenly realm, man, if you can truly understand this. Because you cannot exist. You cannot exist if you wasn't in some type of form of energy. So we are nothing but pure thought that have taken a physical counterpart. And that's why the body cannot interact. The body cannot act on nothing unless it first get consent of the consciousness. It's like the consciousness gives the body permission to interact with things. So for as he thinking in his heart, so is he. You can be whatever you want to be. That's why believing is so imperative. That's why your thoughts is so essential, because you can be whatever you want to be, because there are no limitations when it comes down to consciousness. But you have been led to believe that you are human. You have been led to believe that you are the vehicle. You're not the vehicle. You are the driver in the vehicle. Until you realize this, you're going to live your life forever thinking that you are a damn vehicle. You're not a vehicle. You are the driver that's operating the vehicle. So when I tell you to get out the damn vehicle, don't look at me sideways. Know that you are the driver of the vehicle and you're not the vehicle. What do I simply mean? You are not the body. You are the consciousness that resides in the body. And just like you see a broke down vehicle on the side of the road, that's nothing but a dead person that the spirit is no longer operating. The spirit is not residing in that person. That's death. When you die, the spirit evacuates from the body. Just like a vehicle, when it breaks down, the driver evacuates from the vehicle. But many brothers and sisters and friends have been led to believe they simply are the vehicle. You're not the vehicle. You are the driver. Okay? If that makes sense. So everything is energy. And energy is vibrating particles. And what is energy? Pure consciousness that have taken upon human form. So the spirit comprehends what eternal life is. And once the spirit comes into the physical, it loses its consciousness of the spiritual realm. And that's why they call this like a past life or something like that. Man, it's deep. It's super duper deep. And because, you know, when a child is being born in the hospital, when the mother of the child is on the operation table, you know, and she's giving birth to that child, that she's pushing that child from the womb. When you die, you wake up. So that child that's being born on the operation table is somebody that just recently died. Because when you die, you wake up. It's like when you die, you were born. That's why before you die, you will see like this fourth dimensional light. You know what I'm talking about? Okay, when you die right here, when you die, you see this fourth dimensional light, this vortex tunnel, which is simply called the light of death. It's a bright light. When you die, it's a bright light that pursues the consciousness. Basically, that bright light when you die, that is the light of the operation table, man. The operation table light, when you are birthed into this world, the doctor has that bright light shine on the operation table while your mother is giving you birth. That's the same light when you die. So when you die, you actually wake up. Death is actually life. But you've been taught that life is death. So we got it all wrong. You see, it's deep because you are only here to know what you truly are. We truly don't know the difference on what we are in the vehicle that we're using, because a lot of people think they are the vehicle until they discover that they are the driver of the vehicle. Because a lot of people think they are physical. You're not physical. You are consciousness in the physical counterpart. You see? So when you die and that bright light, that vortex, that tunnel, that fourth dimensional tunnel, that bright light that starts to illuminate on the verge of dying to come for your soul, your consciousness. When you die, you're born. Because we think that life is death when I already explained that life is really, we think that life is life when life is really death. So there would be no life without death. And there would be no death without life. What I'm saying is, just imagine if we live forever. Just imagine if we live forever. I told you that we live forever. You wouldn't know what the hell I'm talking about if you never died. Because if I said that we live forever, just imagine no one died. Just imagine this. No one died. No one died. No one ever witnessed death. No one ever experienced death. And that we all live forever. And I told you that we live forever. You wouldn't know what the hell I'm talking about because no one never died. No one never witnessed death. No one never experienced death. And I asked you this question and I said, don't you know that we live forever? And you respond and said, what the hell are you talking about? I said, don't you know that we live forever? And you said that I still don't understand what you're talking about. You will not understand what I'm talking about until what? You could not expound, you could not express, you could not describe, you could not elucidate what I'm talking about until you experience death, until you actually die. And when you die, when you actually die, you will say, oh, now I get it. Because it would take for you to die to illustrate death. It would take for you to physically die for you to understand death so others can truly comprehend it. But if you never die, you will never understand death. So what they call life on earth is truly death because you have to die to live. So what makes you think when you die, that same light that comes for your consciousness is not the same light on the physician operation table, man? That's something to think about because it's super duper deep. So yeah, we live forever because we simply die. So we want eternal life, but nobody want to die. How would there be eternal life if there was not death? So we live forever because we simply die. Until you understand what's being said, you're going to be forever unaware. So this is what life is, death. And you are here for just a quick experience. And then we are eternal beings, which is pure consciousness. We are here for a couple years. And then next thing you know, we come to the declining point, which is death, which is just a quick flash. It seems like forever. Because you know why life, which is really death, seems forever? Because we truly do not understand how long eternity is. That's why it seems like that. So when you die, you wake up. So we all are drivers that's navigating the car, that eventually the car is going to break down. We're going to have to get out. The problem is we don't want to get out because we have truly been taught that we are the car. We're not the car. We are the driver, which is pure consciousness, pure energy, cannot cease to exist. Energy only can be transmigrated from one form to another. But many believe that they are the body. Many believe that they are the body. They're not aware that they are pure consciousness in the body. They're not aware that they are pure consciousness in the body, and the body is a physical counterpart of the consciousness. They thinking that they are the damn body. Like a lot of people thinking that they are the damn car. They're not the car, they are the driver. Till you understand that, you're not going to be aware of what's really going on. So, I said that to say this, that all consciousness is connected to the universe. When you look at the clusters, when you look at the universe, that's nothing but a compilation of pure consciousness. Okay? That's just, the universe is who you call God. The universe is who they call the Lord. That's the universe. God, let me tell you something. Who they call God, the ultimate creator, is the universe. So when they say who is the creator, they should be asking who is the creator not. Okay, and this is why it says this in the Bible. Let me show you. So we're going to take a look at John 1 and 8, because who you call God is simply the universe. He cannot be subjected to human form. Even though a lot of us may think that God is like this humanistic entity, he cannot be subjected to human form, because I'm going to show you in the scriptures, okay? John 1 and 8. John 1 and 8, it says, I believe this is John 1 and 8. John 1 and 8, let's see. No, that's not the one. Wait a minute. Excuse me, brothers and sisters. Salakia is John 1 and 18. I said John 1 and 8. I'm sorry. John 1 and 18. No man have seen God at any time. Why have no man have seen God at any time? What is that talking about? No man have seen God at any time. No man have seen the true essence of the Most High. Because the true essence of the Most High is unexplainable. It's unimaginable. No man have seen God at any time. However, we know that the Most High, who they call God, is the universe. It says the only begotten Son, which is in the bosom of the Father, have declared him, which who they call Jesus the Christ, who we know as Yahweh Shai, that took upon humanistic form because he was Son of God. Like on an esoteric level, the Son of the universe. Okay, so no man have really seen the true visage of God. No man have truly seen the true portrait, or what you would say, the true physicality of God, because he doesn't have physicality. He's an almighty creator that cannot be explained, because he's simply the universe. So when they tell you who is the creator not? Because the creator are the trees, the seas, the mountains, the villages, the valleys, all the components of the elements that evolves around us, that consist of the creator. So no man have truly really seen God, because God cannot be subjected to human form. That's what it's talking about. All right. So God is, who you call God, is simply the universe. Okay. All right. In general, on an esoteric level, this is esoteric teachings. Okay. Let's go to Hebrews 12 and 29. Hebrews 12 and 29. Now watch what it says, my friends, brothers and sisters, blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, the chosen people. It says, Hebrews 12 and 29, for our God is a consuming fire. Now, why is it saying in Hebrews 12 and 29 that our God, it says our God, because it's talking about the children of Israel concerning the Bible, which on an esoteric level is that specific outstanding energy that surpasses all energy of the earth. There are different forms of energy. We know there are different forms of energy. Israel on an esoteric level is that chosen energy of the universe that no other form of energy can relate to. And like I said, we are speaking more from an esoteric community concerning this lesson, and we're not speaking from a, on the other side of the coin, but that's what it's talking about. But why I said that Hebrew 12 and 29, for our God is a consuming fire, because our God, the ultimate creator of the universe, is nothing but infinite power, infinite energy, frequency, vibration. Okay? So the true essence of the Most High, because a lot of us, let me show you something. A lot of us, if I was to go up here and I typed in, let's say, the Most High. If I type this in, I'm going to show you something. Okay, the Most High, you know, sometimes you might see an image of the Most High, something like this, an image of the Most High. I'm trying to get you a good image. We know the Most High cannot be compacted in the image. You might say God is black or something, or like that. I'm just trying to show you. Because power is in the form of melanated people. Because God means Allah, Elo. That's what God means, which means power. So when they say God is black, that's true, because God is power, and power and energy is pure consciousness that takes a physical counterpart, which is the body. So there are many potent black men that is known as God. So when they say God is black, you know, I don't want you to think, because I have this same image on my Bible, but I have to explain, brothers and sisters, God cannot be put in the form of a human being. Because the reason why I said that, because we know that God, who the Most High, is the universe, and he cannot really be put in human form because he's almighty. And the reason I want to give a verse behind what I stated, because the true essence of the Most High is pure energy. So more like God cannot be subject to the human form, but the true essence of the Most High is pure energy. And if I put in pure energy, this would be a better illustration. Something like this vortex of energy, let's say pure energy. This would be like an illustration, but it's almighty. That's how the Heavenly Father, he's pure energy. You know, let's go to Psalms 144 and 4 to show you more. Psalms 144 and 4. Okay. Psalms 144 and 4 says the Lord, that's Yahweh. Yahweh means he exists. Now what is this? When it says Yahweh, Lord is Yah, he, Hawa, he exists. What is this? Pure energy, because the Heavenly Father is pure energy, which is the universe. See that? So it says he exists, the Lord, he exists. What is man, that thou takest knowledge of him, or the Son of Man, that thou makest account of him? See that? Psalms 144 and 4. Man is like to vanity. His days are as a shadow that passes away. Because this is referring man to being consciousness placed in the body. In Psalms 144 and 5. Bow thy heavens, O he exists, the Lord, the universe, and come down, touch the mountains, and they shall smoke. Now, if the Most High touches the mountains, they'll burn up. See that? So this is figurative speech, right? Psalms 144 and 6. Cast forth lightning and scatter them. Shoot out thine arrows and destroy them. So what is it talking about? This is talking about the majesty of the Most High, because the Most High is almighty, man. Okay? So I don't want you to think, brothers and sisters, that, you know, I don't want you to think that when we're talking about the Almighty, the Creator, you cannot put the Creator in the form of a humanistic image, because he's almighty and all powerful. He cannot be contained in human form. So even though we use this image, it's not accurate, it's not correct, because this cannot be described as the Almighty Creator, because he's too powerful to be contained or stipulated in human form. So, you know, a better illustration would be, you know, something like this, that express nothing but pure energy, that express, let's say, and energy can shapeshift, but let's say it would be better like this, you know, pure energy. That's what the Almighty Creator is, pure energy, you know, and he's too powerful to be contained in a body. So let's go to 1 Kings 8 and 27 to state my claim. This is 1 Kings 8 and 27 to show you that the Most High is too powerful to be contained within human form. 1 Kings 8 and 27. But will God indeed dwell on earth? Behold, the heaven and heavens of heavens cannot contain thee. So you see that this is talking about God, the creator of the heavens and the earth, the universe. It says in 1 Kings 8:27, it says, behold, thy heaven and heaven of heavens cannot contain thee. How much less this house that I have builded. See that? So you can see right here, it's clearly telling you that God, the ultimate creator, the heaven and heavens cannot contain thee. You see that? Because the Most High cannot be contained in a body. He's too powerful. Alright, so the heavens cannot hold the Most High because he's beyond them and the earth. The Most High is beyond the universe. He is the universe. The sun gets its power from the Most High, which is the universe. So yes, the sun can also be in a personification of who they call Jesus the Christ, who we know as Yahweh. We know that, the Son of the living Father, he did walk this earth 2,000 years ago. We're not refuting that a man didn't walk this earth 2,000 years ago, healed the sick, raised the dead. We know that Yahweh was a physical man that walked this earth 2,000 years ago, and he was the savior of the blacks, Hispanics, Native Americans. We're not refuting that. But on an esoteric level, also he is the personification of the burning sun, which is what? The sun gets its power from the Most High, which is the universe. So this is esoteric teaching. Many of you brothers and sisters may not be ready for this. If you're not ready for the esoteric teaching, just like I say, I have many more videos that's not in the esoteric community. So it says basically in 1 Kings 8:27, we see that the heavens and the heavens cannot contain God. So it says how much less this house, how much less also a human. You see, so a human cannot be, God is not in human form. And if you want an illustration is this, he's ultimate power. And you know that it says the Ancient of Days, like Daniel 9:25, I believe. No, not Daniel 9:25, but Daniel 9 is Daniel's 7:9. Daniel 7:9. Sorry for that. And it says, it calls the Most High, the creator of the universe. It says in Daniel 7:9, I beheld till the thrones were cast down, and the Ancient of Days did sit. The Ancient of Days, what do that mean? The Ancient of Days is the creator of the universe, because he's known as the Ancient of Days simply because he does not have a beginning, or neither does he have an ending. He's just the Ancient of Days. He's ultimate power. He's almighty power. He's the Ancient of Days. He has no beginning or ending. Like men, women, and children, we have a beginning and we have an ending. The physical has a beginning and an ending. So you can see right there, God cannot be contained in the body because he has no beginning or ending. He's just simply known as the Ancient of Days, which is nothing but the universe and all the components and the elements that evolves around us. Okay? So he has no beginning, he has no ending. There is no way to measure his vastness. Just know that he exists. That's why, Yahweh, which is the Lord in all caps in your Bible, that's truly Yahweh. Well, now what Yahweh is? Yah, he, Hawa exists. He exists. And when you exist, you just infinite energy, man. You can be in 10,000 places at one time because he's just infinite energy. He's almighty powerful. So he cannot be contained in human form if he exists to be 2,000 places at one time, simultaneously. That don't make any sense. He cannot be contained in human form. So when you say that, God looks, the creator looks more like this, this is kind of farther from the truth, man. It would be more accurate for you to say that the creator is, infinite power, which is which is a numerable vortex of energy. You know what I'm saying? Just like pure energy, pure energy. Like you see many illustrations here. It's just pure energy. You know, that's what the Most High is, man. Who they call God, pure energy. So, you know, there's no way to measure the vastness. Just know that he exists, and, you know, he can be everywhere at the same time. North, south, east, or west. He is the pure source of, you know, the significance of power, and he's Yahweh, the Almighty God. Let's go to Job 36 and 26. This is Job 36 and 26. Behold, God is great, and we know him not. Neither can the number of his years be searched out. So if you want to put God in human form, then we know the number of the number of human years can be searched out, man. You know what I'm saying? Man is like a puff of smoke. You know, man is like a walking shadow. You know, there are stipulations to human being lives. But to the ultimate creator, which is God, we know him not. Neither can the number of his years be searched out, because he's the Ancient of Days. He has no beginning. Neither do he have an ending, like Daniel 7:9 stated. So, you know, I wouldn't recommend you guys to start talking about God as a human, you know, like or giving certain illustrations or pictures saying that God can be subject to human form, because he cannot. You see that? Pursuing to Job 36 and 26. You know, so in other words, we cannot comprehend the full potential of the Most High. You know, people want to identify the origin of the Most High and how he came into existence, and who can find the establishment of the Most High, because there is no origin of the Most High. He exists. He always been from the beginning. He's pure energy. So while people are trying to find out the establishment of God, the creator, how was the creator formed? He wasn't formed. Just know that he exists. He's pure energy. Like Psalms 139 and verse 7. Let me show you that one. Psalms 139 and verse 7, it says, "Whither shall I go from thy spirit, or whither shall I flee from thy presence?" Okay, now, watch this, verse 8. Psalms 139, "If I ascend up into the heavens, thou art there. If I make my bed in hell," which is the grave, that's all it is. Hell is Shawal in Hebrew, which means the grave. So, rather I ascend up into the heavens, thou art there. And if I go down into my grave, thou art there. Behold, thou art there. Psalms 139 and 9. If I take the wings of the morning and dwell in the uttermost parts of the sea. Psalms 139 and 10. Even there shall thy hand lead me, and thy right hand shall hold me. Psalms 139 and 11. If I say, surely the darkness shall not cover me. If I say, surely the darkness shall cover me, even the night shall be light about me. Psalms 139 and 12. Yeah, the darkness hideth not from thee, but the night shineth as the day. The darkness and the light are both alike to thee. So the twilight and daylight is the same to the Most High, because he is the twilight. He is the daylight. He is the darkness. He is light. He is parts of the sea. He is the wings of the morning. He is the heavens. He is the earth's surface, which is likened to the grave, hell. You see that? So, Psalms 139:13, "For thou hast possessed my reins, thou hast covered me in my mother's womb." See that? The Most High sees everything, and he's everything, because once again, he's nothing but pure form of energy. All right? Jeremiah 23 and 24. Jeremiah 23:24 says, "Can any hide himself in secret places, that I shall not see him? Said the Lord Yahweh, he exists. Do not I feel heaven and earth? Said he exists, Yahweh." So he feels the heavens and the earth. How? energy. This whole universe consists of energy. And we are fragments of the Most High. Because you, brothers and sisters, are nothing but energy that have been subjected to human form. You are nothing but pure. This is pure consciousness you're looking at. All right? And like I said, we are nothing but different forms of energy, consciousness. That's what the spirit is. This is nothing but a big ball of a vortex of spirits, man, which is the Most High, because the Most High is the God of all spirits. I'm going to show you that. Let's take a look at Jeremiah 23 and 27. Watch this. It says, which think to cause my people. I believe this is the wrong verse. Wait a minute. No, not 23 and 27. Jeremiah 32 and 27. I'm sorry once again. Brothers and sisters, my friends, I'm sorry. This is Jeremiah 32 and 27 to show you that we just are broken fragments of the Most High, which is infinite power. Jeremiah 32 and 27. Watch this. Behold, I am, he exists, which is Yahweh, the God of all flesh. See, so he exists is the powers of all flesh. So all these 18 nations, these nationality of people that's walking on earth, this three-dimensional realm, they are part of God, because God is what? The God of all flesh. He say, I am, he exists, Yahweh, which is the God of all flesh. So every fleshly being is like a component of God. It's a fragment, a broken piece of God. And what is that God? Pure energy, which is consciousness. That's why we all have a brain, because the spirit empowers the brain, which is pure consciousness. The spirit empowers the brain, generates the brain. It kicks the brain up. Without the spirit, the brain cannot operate in order to manipulate the body. So all we are is just broken fragments of God, which is pure consciousness, which is pure energy. See, that's why he said that he exists. Yahweh is the God of all flesh. Now let me show you in Numbers 27 and 16. Numbers 27 and 16. Numbers 27 and 16. Because we all are part of God. Numbers 27 and 16. However, there are chosen specific nation of people, which is that chosen energy. Numbers 27 and 16. It says, let the Lord, let he exist, Yahweh, the God of the spirits of all flesh. So he exists is the same God of all the spirits of all flesh. So we just broken fragments of God. That's all. We are the expressions of God, because we're nothing but consciousness. We just broken fragments of God consciousness that have been subjected to human form. You see that? So, you know, this is a deep lesson, because God, who they call the creator of the heavens and the earth, when we say who's the creator, we should be saying who is the creator not. Because you cannot be everywhere at the same time if you have a body. And therefore, God cannot be subject to human body, because you cannot be everywhere at the same time if you have a human body. So, you know, this is far from the truth. However, a lot of Israelites use this image. This is far from the truth. This is, they say God, you know, they even made a movie called, I forgot the name of this movie. Y'all just comment in the section box. Help me out. I forgot the name of this movie where Morgan Freeman played as God. Well, God cannot simply be subject to human form, because if you have a body, you cannot be in all places at one time. So we all visualize God as having a body, because we don't want, you know, God to be universal, but he is. You know, so, you know, we want God to have a body to understand him, but you cannot understand the true essence of the Almighty Creator, because he can't be subject to human form. However, you will have, you know, images and portraits that, you know, tell you that that's God, but no, man. So this is why the Bible speaks of idolatry, making idols, because you know when you take some type of idol and you set it up as your God, basically what you are doing is that you are limiting the almighty power of the Most High. You're trying to take this infinite vortex of energy. You're trying to take this infinite vortex of energy and you're trying to subdue it to human form. So that's why it's very imperative that we don't take any idol and set it up as God, because then we'll take all this infinite energy, this unexplainable energy, this big unexplainable energy, and we'll subdue it to human form, which can't be substituted to human form. That's why the Bible condones, it condones idolatry. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, man, I can go on and on with this lesson. I'm just trying to pick out the main points. To make a long story short, John 4:24. John 4:24, it says that God is spirit. So see, what is spirit? Infinite power, man. God is spirit. God, the universe is a spiritual vortex of energy. And that's what God is, the universe. So when you say who's the creator not? Because the creator is everything. All the elements, the sea, the trees, the mountains, the valleys, the hills, the hilltops, everything. So God is spirit. God is a vortex of energy, infinite power of energy. And they that worship him must worship him in spirit and truth. See that? So, this lesson is coming to a declining point. It's coming to an end. But I'm just typing in consciousness. And when you understand consciousness, you will understand God. You got to understand, if you understand consciousness, you understand God. And like I say, this is an esoteric lesson. So consciousness is the creativity in your mind. Like, it's like to awaken the God. When you awaken God within, you are aware now. You are consciousness. You know what I'm saying? You are aware of what's going on. So to awaken God is to awaken consciousness of the human being. The human being is distinguished from animals, because animals, we different, because the animals cannot understand what is, universal laws and what is true essence of consciousness. Animals cannot understand what is God simply. So the human being also does not understand what is God. He's likened to an animal. And that's why in the Bible it speaks of Gentile nations as beasts of the field, because they cannot understand what true consciousness is. So the past, the present, the future, whatever the situation may be, you got to already know that evolves around consciousness. So we would not have this body, if consciousness did not, become less condensed. So, yeah, I know this is pretty deep. I try not to get too deep because I don't want to lose any subscribers, but I can go deeper than this, but I'm not, and I try not to get too deep. But, yeah, brothers and sisters, I hope this was enough, because I'm going to do another lesson, and I'm going to break down what is sperm, what is truly sperm. Because a lot of people don't know about the sperm cell, the male reproductive sperm cell. I'm going to break that down too. So, yeah, man, I hope I was a help to you guys, because we need this information. We need it to be, to go viral and to just spread and help others. So just keep in mind that the physical aspect is death, and life is truly death, and a spirit is an eternal entity, and for the spirit to experience death, it has to be physical. So that's why we have to incarnate and come back on this third dimensional plane to experience death, because we are everlasting, and the spirit has to go through that experience of going through the physical. So all spiritual substance has a termination and expiration date, and that's when the spirit become less condensed and more like a three-dimensional form. So the spirit and the body is separate. And don't never think that you are the body. You're not the body. You are consciousness and the physical counterpart. So, it's like a vehicle, like I stated, and a person inside the vehicle. So the brain manipulates the body, and this comes from consciousness stimulating the brain. Now, what this consciousness stimulating the brain, because without the consciousness, the brain won't be able to work. So this conscious stimulates the brain in order to electrify the brain, in order for the brain to govern the body. And the physical brain is like the model of the spiritual. So, that's the reason why the spirit cannot remember the spiritual world, because the brain isn't spiritual. The brain is physical, and the brain is the embodiment of the spirit. And it's like the lodging area for the spirit, which is the fourth dimension of being. That's why when you come back on the earth, you don't have no form of remembrance of anything, because the spirit, like if the spirit was capable of remembering, if the spirit was capable of remembering the spiritual realm while you was going through this physical experience, it would stop the physical experience, and then the spirit will leave and go back to the spiritual realm. So you can't be in two places at one time. So you cannot remember the spiritual while you're going through this physical third dimensional realm, which is truly death. So, that's why we don't have no form of remembrance of our past lives. So I hope I was a help to you. Next lesson, I'm going to be breaking down what the sperm cell is. Hope you guys were edified on the behalf of Solid Foundation Israelite Academy. Hope this lesson was a help to you. And until next lesson, we say shalom.